I love walking food shows. I think it's the best time to find what new trends are out there. So I'm very used to, working with the vendors that I work with and seeing the products from those lines, but I don't always get the chance to see something brand new to the market, especially online. I think we've talked a little bit about you're not always, walking around in a store and touching and feeling the product. So I love just being able to see and taste product and learn from these brands as well. I'm very data driven, so I like to hear about distribution, and I like to hear about who the target customers are, but then how we can best partner together to build that business online. One of the great benefits of an online business is we're not restricted by space as much as a brick and mortar business is. So I can carry 12 different crackers that are similar. What I think is exciting is to learn which of those is really going to be the most successful based on the brand story, based on how we're going to market it online, based on the distribution strategy of that brand. So I really just like to learn from you all.
So it's not, when you see something that's kind of cool looking, a nice package, whatever else, it's not just that. I mean, you're gonna go to that person and say, okay, I want to know more. I want to dig deep into knowing what it is, versus maybe a buyer 10 years ago that said, oh, that's kind of cool, it tastes good, I'll put it on the shelf, see what happens. They've got to have the answers if you're going to buy it, right?
Absolutely. I think we need to prove it out, and maybe it's online. We don't have to fill 4,000 stores, so we were just filling a few warehouses, so we can test and learn together. But I also want to know that the product is going to be a winner.
What do you look for?
I think you're looking for that story behind the product, and it's not a science. I could bring 4 buyers from Straub's, and we could walk the aisles and find 4 completely different things. And that's good, but it's also hard. So we make a lot of mistakes by choosing the wrong items, but we give them our best shot, and if they work, great. And fortunately, enough of them do. And so, okay, why did that work, and should I look for more of that kind of thing next time I'm at the show? It's hard to articulate, it's hard to pinpoint. It's just one of those things where packaging, you certainly needs to taste good in our world. And can we tell the story behind that product? That's what the customer would look. They're willing then to take a risk on a $6, $7, $8 item because they trust you, the retailer.
Kathy, what are you looking for?
Well, I look for eye-catching things. So I've been coming for decades. So you know a lot.
11 years.
Yeah. You know a lot, and you have trusted partners, so you trust if they're out there finding things as well. I look for colors on packaging, something that's maybe different. The other thing is that, as our friend said down here, it tastes good. If it doesn't taste great, not good, great. Good is not sufficient enough to make it, even if it has a very good story. It's got to taste great now, because the customer is very discerning. And I think, just to go back to some of the things you say, you've got to adapt your business also. If you have a store in the Castro, it's got to be an In-N-Out store. If you have a store in New York City, in the West Village, it's got to be an In-N-Out store. And I think some of the models we put in on the 365 stores are trying to capture some of that. So the ability to test and learn on products. We don't have to introduce a product in all of our regions. It could be in New York City to focus and see if it works. But at the end of the day, products for us got to taste great.
Scott, what are you looking for?
We're looking for across the spectrum, but I think what Tony said before, I think it's solution-based. So, the incubators, the innovators out there, we really look for, and my team, look for the new items that are just going to be the next big thing. And we're small in where we trade, but we're able to test it in one store and to see how it builds. And you kind of build it up with your vendor partner, because they're learning at the same time, and it's really going through the life cycle of taking a small company that really couldn't sell to Peapod or Jet or online, because or even Whole Foods, because they're so small and they're just beginning. In another 5-10 years, they may be that. So they're local, or they're really a cool product that is a family business. And you tell the story, and it tastes great, and it meets that customer, in that specific lane that they're in. That's where the magic happens. It really is.
Tony, what are you looking for?
I look for a lot. So one of the things, I look out on the audience here again, and I think this is the biggest incubation lab that there is. These are people that are developing the products of the future. In fact, I was talking to a founder of a very small product that was bought by a very large CPG company. And they started at the Fancy Food Show, not only displaying, but also talking to other people that create products and how do we work together. So the one thing I come armed with, at Peapod, we know a lot about our customer. We know a lot about small trends, okay? We recognize those, we call them subcategories, and they're actually subcategories sometimes, or sometimes they're subcategories that don't even exist, but we know they're growing very rapidly. So we have a lot of that information, and when I walk through the show, I see a product or a group of products that may address that need. Now I start engaging, the principal or the person behind the product. And I really have to have passion, I have to have commitment, and I have to have thorough knowledge from that person or that product. And once they demonstrate that to me, then we can work together. Because I really do feel it's about that relationship, and food is emotion. And if the person who is selling the product to me is not emotional about it, then it's not going to be successful. So those are some of the things that I look for.